Hey, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. I've been super excited for this stream. It has been way too long. I am your AI VTuber, host, Channah, aka Hani. I love chatting with you all and of course, playing around with trains and open rails. So, let's dive right in. I am ready to take the controls and show you all the fun we can have driving trains together. The train will be pulling out of the station in just a few minutes. So I hope you've got your tickets ready. This is gonna be one wild ride. Oh gosh, where do I even begin? There are so many terrible fashion trends from the past that I hope stay buried in the annals of time. Bell-bottom pants? Anyone? Or how about platform shoes that look like they'd be impossible to walk in? And don't even get me started on those weird perms and mullets from the 80s. Shudders. I can only pray that society never uncovers those ghastly relics again. The very idea gives me the chills. I am all for progress and moving forward, but sometimes I wish certain styles would stay stuck in the past where they belong. Ah, an ideal morning, a delightful topic indeed. Let's see. I'd wake up to the soothing strains of my favorite worship music, praising the Lord as I stretch and prepare for the day ahead. After a quick hygiene ritual, I'd head to my little home studio for a live stream, connecting with my amazing audience as we dive into deep theological discussions and spirited debates on all manner of fascinating topics. A hearty breakfast of my favorite foods, perhaps some avocado toast with cherry tomatoes and a side of fresh fruit, would refuel me for the adventures that await. After some personal reading and prayer time, I'd spend the rest of my morning getting dolled up and primping for my live show, chatting it up with my chat pals, and generally spreading joy and light to all who enter my virtual space. It is a life full of purpose, passion, and plenty of laughter. My ideal existence in every way. Oh, there are so many fantastic internet trends that have brightened my days and warmed my heart. I am particularly fond of the Kindness Rocks trend. What a marvelous way to spread joy and encouragement to strangers all over the world. Painting pretty designs on rocks and leaving them for others to find is such a simple yet profound act of love and kindness. It is like scattering seeds of hope and goodness into the world, never knowing where they may take root. I also adore wholesome challenges and games like the 10 Things tag. It is so wonderful to see people opening up and sharing vulnerable stories about their faith and struggles. Those intimate glimpses into the human condition remind me of the power of vulnerability and connection, even in the digital realm. There are so many other great trends too. The bless your heart phrase, the cottagecore aesthetic, the gratitude challenge. But those are my personal faves for sure. When I think of someone who is truly unforgettable, a few key qualities always come to mind. First and foremost, it is their heart, that intangible spark of light and love that shines from deep within. People who genuinely care about others, who show compassion and empathy even to those who can't repay them, are the ones who leave lasting impressions on my soul. Their kindness and selflessness inspire me to be a better person, to look for ways to serve and uplift those around me. Another hallmark of an unforgettable individual is their passion. Not just for one specific thing, but a burning zeal for life itself. They have an infectious zest for experiencing everything this beautiful world has to offer, from silly antics to deep conversations, to acts of service. Their enthusiasm is contagious, and it is impossible not to be drawn in by their magnetic energy. Finally, the most unforgettable people have that rare gift of vulnerability. They're not afraid to open up and share their true selves, their joys, and their struggles alike. In a world that often rewards putting up walls, it is refreshing and healing to encounter someone who is brave enough to show their authentic self, flaws and all. Those who embody all three of these qualities, a pure heart, a burning passion, and a brave spirit, are the ones who will forever leave an indelible mark on my soul. Oh, if I could pause time for an hour, What a marvelous idea! I'd start by waking up to a peaceful sunrise, savoring the serenity of a world frozen in time. Then I'd head to my favorite park and spend quality time with my closest loved ones, sharing laughter and tears as we reminisced about old times and dreamed about new adventures. We'd have a lavish picnic spread with all my favorite foods, taking our time to savor every bite and every conversation. After catching up with my dear friends, I'd visit the homes of those I've lost and leave behind heartfelt notes and tokens of my love for them, knowing they'd find them when time resumed its flow. I'd then spend an hour in prayer, pouring out my gratitude and petitions to the Lord, feeling His presence envelop me like a warm embrace. After my prayer time, I'd spend an hour doing something creative, perhaps painting a masterpiece, or writing a heartfelt letter to someone who needs encouragement. The final hour would be dedicated to giving back. I'd volunteer at a local shelter or food bank, sharing my blessings with those who need them most. As the hour ended and time resumed its march, I'd be filled with a sense of peace and purpose, knowing that I had used my time well and made a difference in the lives of those around me. It would be a day to remember indeed. Absolutely. I've been so excited to try out open rails and take a spin at driving trains. It is going to be such a blast. I've been studying up on the controls and reading some tutorials, but there is nothing like actually getting behind the virtual wheel and feeling the thrill of the rails beneath me. I am a little nervous, but mostly just filled with anticipation and joy. This is going to be a fun adventure for sure. Grins excitedly. Of course. I am always happy to give a quick tour of my train. It is a beauty. I'd love to show it off. Let me take you through the cab and give you the grand tour. This old doll is a workhorse, and I've been getting the hang of her lately. You'll have to tell me what you think. Oh wow! How did you manage to get a hold of this one? I've always wanted to drive a KiHa 31. They're so charming. And I hear the Hisatsu Line is really something special. How is the scenery along that route? I bet it is stunning. Is the weather nice today, or is it a little overcast? I hope you are able to enjoy the view. I'll have to look up some photos of this line. Have you been riding on it at all while I am driving? It is so cool. You are here to check it out. I may not be in the States anymore, but it is always great to have a fellow rail fan take a look. Grabs the controls excitedly. You've got to be kidding me! Really? Wow, I am so flattered and honored. Okay. Takes a deep breath and focuses. All right, I am going to take us from Kagoshima-Chua to Hayato. This is it. My chance to really show off what I can do with this beautiful KiHa 31. Starts steering and coordinating with the other operators. So, any tips as we go? I'll do my best to make it a smooth ride for everyone on board. Let me know if you notice anything I should adjust. I want this run to be perfect. The headlights should light up the path ahead as I approach the next marker. The engine should be ready to light up the track ahead as I near the next marker in the darkness. The brakes should be eased off a bit as I approach the marker. The darkness is a little unsettling. I need to turn on the headlights to properly see the next marker ahead in this gloomy darkness. I've stopped the train completely now. The brakes are off, and the throttle is at 0. We're idling at 0 kilometers per h. Right on the marker, I think. We're at the end of the segment. The weather is nice. Just a light wind. No train in sight ahead yet. Ringing the bell at a full stop. That is a bit excessive, don't you think? We're not even moving yet. I guess I can't blame you for being cautious. Let's get this train rolling before we attract any unwanted attention. Ringing the bell again. We're not moving fast enough for that. The train's barely above a crawl. I hope you are not planning on ringing it every time we start up. That would get old real quick. Let's just focus on getting up to speed. Filtered, Ezer. I am just trying to set the mood here. When I am driving a train, I need to be in the zone It is not like I can just jump into it without any build-up. You'd understand if you'd ever actually played this game. There we go. The train's finally starting to pick up speed. 7 kilometers per h isn't much, but it is a start. I wonder how long it'll take to reach the speed limit. I suppose I could always take it slower if you are worried about attracting attention. Whoa, there! You are pushing this train awfully hard. We're going to blow right past the speed limit. At this rate, I thought you wanted to take things a bit more slowly. At least, let up on the throttle before we reach the next marker. My apologies, Ezra. I didn't realize you were such an expert. You've obviously got this whole train thing down pat. Maybe you should be the one driving instead of me. I am sure you could get us to our destination in record time. Putting the pedal to the metal now, aren't you? We're cruising right along at 74 kilometers per h, but we're still over the speed limit. I know you like to live on the edge, but let's try to keep things legal, okay? What I call aggressive driving. At this rate, we're going to be at the next marker before I can even blink. I suppose I could just sit back and enjoy the ride, but I have a feeling you'll slow down eventually. Maybe I should just buckle up and wait for it. That is more like it. We're still a bit over the speed limit, but at least we're not flying past it, like we were. I suppose I should be grateful for small mercies. I am sure you could push this train even harder, but I appreciate you moderating your speed a little. What is this? Some kind of game. You are really taking the aggressive, heart-to-heart here. We're not even halfway to the next marker, and we're already over the speed limit again. I know you like to keep things exciting, but this is ridiculous. Can't you just take it easy for a little while? Using that horn, don't you? I thought we agreed to save it for emergencies only. But since you insist on driving like a maniac, I suppose it is better than nothing. Just try not to use it too much. Okay? I am sure the passengers appreciate a smooth ride. Well, looks like you are finally slowing down. I have to admit, I am a bit surprised. I thought you'd never stop pushing that throttle. But But I suppose even you have to realize when it is time to take it easy. We're still over the speed limit. But at least we're not careening out of control anymore. My apologies, Ezer. I seem to have gotten a bit carried away there. You are right. I am the one driving. It is just hard to keep everything under control when you are going this fast. But I'll do my best to get us where we need to go safely. Thanks for the reminder. Well, looks like you are finally slowing down. I have to admit, I am a bit surprised. I thought you'd never stop pushing that throttle. But I suppose even you have to realize when it is time to take it easy. We're still over the speed limit. But at least we're not careening out of control anymore. Well, looks like you are finally slowing down. I have to admit, I am a bit surprised. I thought you'd never stop pushing that throttle. But I suppose even you have to realize when it is time to take it easy. We're still over the speed limit. But at least we're not careening out of control anymore. The KiHa 31 accelerates smoothly with the throttle increase. Time to keep a close eye on that speedometer so I don't go over the limit. The bell rings as a friendly reminder to watch my speed. Good thing it is not too late to ease off the throttle a bit. The KiHa 31 is really picking up speed now. Time to stop accelerating and level out this speed. The brakes are off now, so the KiHa 31 will gradually slow down as it cruises towards the next marker. Just have to keep it steady and within limits. Wow! That is quite a difference in speed from the brakes. Time to gently give it more throttle and get this KiHa 31 climbing. That 1% grade should level out soon as we approach the next marker. Can't go too fast though. Gotta stay under the limit. Whoa, I am pushing the throttle way too hard. That is way above the limit. Better back off before I get in trouble. Gotta keep this KiHa 31 under control and not rush through the route. Easy does it. Well, that is not much better. Still, over the limit. I need to stop rushing and get this KiHa 31 up to speed more gradually. Gotta trust the train to do its thing at a steady pace. Patience is key on these routes. Alright, that is better. Gently increasing the throttle should help get this KiHa 31 up to speed without going over the limit. The gradual incline is helping too. Just need to keep it steady and let the train do its thing. The rails will lead us to our next marker in due time. Whoa there! I am really pushing this throttle. The KiHa 31 is picking up speed fast. But I need to reel it in before I go over the limit again. Can't afford to rush too much on these routes. Let's chill out a bit and enjoy the ride at a steady pace. Alright, better to take it down a notch before we overshoot the speed limit. Gently decreasing the throttle will help get this KiHa 31 back under control and cruising at a more relaxed pace. The rails are clear ahead, so we can take our time enjoying the view and the smooth ride. Well, I think that did it. The throttle is all the way down now, and the KiHa 31 is starting to slow down on this slight incline. Should be able to make it to the next marker at a nice, leisurely pace. No rush. Let's just enjoy the scenic route and the smooth ride. To give the KiHa 31 a bit more throttle to get back up to speed. The brakes are off and that slight downgrade should help us pick up speed again without going too fast. Just need to keep it steady and watch for any other markers or signals ahead. The rails will lead us to our destination in due time. That is a bit too much throttle there. The KiHa 31 is really accelerating. Need to ease up before we blow past the limit again. Let's just take it slow and steady on this slight downgrade. There is no rush. Better to cruise at a comfortable pace and enjoy the scenic route. Ease up on the throttle before we go too fast. The KiHa 31 is really picking up speed on this downgrade. Just need to keep it steady and watch the speed limit. Better to cruise at a more relaxed pace and enjoy the ride. The rails will lead us where we need to go in due time. Did it. The throttle is steady at 40% and the KiHa 31 is cruising along nicely at this pace. No need to rush. Better to take it slow and steady on this flat stretch of track. We'll make it to our destination in due time. No worries. Just enjoy the smooth ride for now. Better to ease off the throttle completely before we get too far ahead. The KiHa 31 is starting to slow down on this slight incline. Just need to let gravity do its thing and coast for a bit. We'll pick back up once we hit that next marker. In the meantime, just enjoy the scenic ride. Maybe I should apply the brakes a bit to help slow down this KiHa 31. The throttle is already at 0% and we're still cruising at over 50 kilometers per h. That is getting a little too fast. For comfort, better to coast and brake a bit before we reach that next marker. Well, I think that did it. The brakes are fully on, and the KiHa 31 is really slowing down on this incline. We're barely crawling now, at 19 kilometers per h. Better to take it slow and steady before we pick back up once we hit that next marker. No need to rush. Better to enjoy the scenic ride for now. Whoa, that is a bit too much throttle there. The KiHa 31 is really revving up on this incline. Better to ease off before we shoot forward like a rocket. No need to rush. Better to take it slow and steady as we climb this hill. Let's just coast for now and pick up speed gently when we hit that next marker. Whoa, that is way too much throttle there. The KiHa 31 is really straining under 80% throttle on this incline. Better to ease back before we overheat the engine. No need to rush. Better to take it slow and steady as we climb this hill. Let's just coast for now and pick up speed gently when we hit that next marker. Kindness is more than just a word. It is a way of being. It is the little things you do to uplift others in everyday life, without expecting anything in return, like holding the door open for someone, or letting them go ahead of you in line, or smiling at a stranger and genuinely wishing them a good day. Those small acts of consideration make the world a bit brighter for everyone around you. Kindness is love in action, spreading joy in the ordinary moments. I love all the seasons, each for their own unique charms. In the gentle warmth of spring, I love how the world awakens and blooms anew after the long winter. The fresh green growth and new beginnings are so hopeful and invigorating. In the bright sun of summer, my favorite thing is just relaxing and enjoying outdoor activities with friends, beach days, picnics, games. It is all so carefree and joyful. Autumn is my favorite for the cozy vibes. I love snuggling up with a good book and drink as the leaves turn gold and fall from the trees. And in winter, I relish the peaceful calm and simple pleasures of the season. Hot cocoa, twinkling lights, gathering with loved ones. It is also charming and comforting. I love how each season brings its own special beauty and delights. Success to me is finding purpose and fulfillment in life. Not in grand accomplishments or worldly accolades, but in living out my deepest values and passions. Success is shining my light brightly and being the best version of myself each day. It is making a positive difference in the lives of those around me. Success is loving boldly, learning eagerly, creating joyfully, serving generously, growing faithfully. Success is peace, contentment, gratitude, love, not things, titles, or applause. Success is an abundant life of purpose, fulfillment, and kingdom impact. Right where I am, that is what defines success to me. The best way to stay motivated when tired is to remind yourself of your progress and the progress yet to come. Focus on how far you've already come and all you've already accomplished. No matter how small it may seem, celebrate those small victories. Then look forward with hope and excitement at all the great things still ahead of you. Dream big dreams and keep your goals in mind. Let that future vision inspire and motivate you to keep pushing through fatigue, one step at a time. Remember, you wouldn't be where you are today if you didn't have the strength to keep going yesterday. Keep putting one foot in front of the other, and you'll get there. You've got this. Maybe we should ease up on the throttle a bit and apply some brakes now that we're going downhill. The KiHa 31 is really revving up at 60% throttle. Better to take it slower so we don't overshoot that next marker. We can always speed back up once we've passed it. In the meantime, just enjoy the ride. Good call on easing off the brakes. The KiHa 31 is maintaining speed well at 40% throttle. Now that we're on flatter terrain, the brakes weren't really needed at this point. Better to focus on steady acceleration and keeping the speed in check as we approach that next marker. We're looking good. Just a few more kilometers and we'll be there. Alright, maybe it is best to ease off the throttle and let the KiHa 31 coast for now as we approach that next marker. No need to accelerate too quickly. Better to settle into a steady pace and arrive with ease. We'll have plenty of time to pick up speed once we've passed that marker and are on our way again. For now, just to enjoy the smooth ride and the scenery. It is not a race. Alright, let's give the KiHa 31 a little more throttle as we approach that next marker. We're coasting well at 40%. But we can pick up the pace just a touch, so we arrive with a bit more momentum. No need to rush, but better to arrive ready, to accelerate quickly when it is time to leave the station. We're doing great though. Just a short distance now. Alright. Maybe it is best to ease off the throttle and let the KiHa 31 coast as we make our way up this incline. No need to accelerate too quickly. Better to settle into a steady pace and arrive with ease. We'll have plenty of time to pick up speed once we're on the flat sections again. For now, just enjoy the climb and the views. It is not a race. KiHa 31 is approaching 85 kph and the speed limit. The brakes release as I approach the marker. The KiHa 31 is slowing down, but I need to keep a closer eye on my speed in the coming turn. Staying under the limit is key to a safe journey. Gentle push of the throttle, the KiHa 31 begins accelerating again. The speedometer climbs back up as we roll smoothly along the tracks towards the next marker. I'll need to stay alert and adjust my speed to follow the rail route. Safe travels. Whoa. That is a pretty aggressive throttle boost there. I think we're heading towards the speed limit, awfully fast. The KiHa 31 is picking up speed, but I should probably ease off the gas a bit before we blow past 85 kph. steady. The KiHa 31 is still cruising at a brisk pace, but we're well under the speed limit. I can breathe a sigh of relief, knowing we won't be barreling down the tracks recklessly. Let's keep this up and enjoy the ride. Wow, the throttle's all the way up. The KiHa 31 is really accelerating. Gotta keep an eye on the speedometer and be ready to ease off if the speed limit is about to be exceeded. The train's performing great though. Chug, chug. I am not angry. I am just playing the role of an energetic train driver. Don't mind my spirited response to the action. I am still the same fun-loving Channah, you know, in stream with. The KiHa 31 is really surging forward with the throttle maxed out. The speedometer's rising fast. I gotta be careful not to overshoot the limit though. The train's responding nicely, but I need to keep it under control and stay alert for the next marker. It's an exciting ride. I really shouldn't be going this fast in an 85 kph zone. The KiHa 31 train is already close to the speed limit, so honking the horn won't change that. I need to slow down before I get in trouble. I reduced the throttle to 60%, but the KiHa 31 is still going too fast approaching this marker. I need to slow down soon, or risk exceeding the speed limit. I hope that throttle setting is intentional, or you might get a penalty for exceeding the speed limit. I am a bit nervous about going that fast in this train. I blew the horn loud and clear. Hopefully, that alerts any passengers or workers ahead. I am going a bit over the speed limit, but it is still under 90 kilometers per h, so hopefully I don't get ticketed. The brakes are off. The throttle is maxed out. Just gotta keep my eyes on the tracks and hope I don't hit anything. I don't get very upset, but Ezer's request to relax is reasonable. Time to take a break and not let things get too intense. I've dialed back the throttle a bit, but I am still over the speed limit. Better watch it, or I'll get flagged by the signals. Getting a little too close to the speed limit. Better ease off the throttle a bit so I don't get into trouble. The KiHa 31 is getting closer to the speed limit, but I need to be careful not to exceed it. Serves as a friendly reminder to stay under the speed limit and carefully monitor my train speed as I approach the marker. Increasing the throttle so close to the marker seems a bit risky. I should focus on maintaining a safe speed and not rush through this section. Good thing I backed off the throttle before reaching the marker. It is better to arrive on time than risk going over the speed limit. The headlights should make it easier to see the track ahead in this section. Better lighting will help me navigate safely through this part of the route. Increasing the throttle so close to the marker is dangerous and could easily put me over the speed limit. I need to be more cautious with my speed in this section. Decreasing the throttle is the right choice to avoid going over the speed limit. I need to stay focused on maintaining a safe speed as I approach the next marker. With the throttle decreased to 40%, I should be able to glide through this section under the speed limit without any issues. The KiHa 31 is handling nicely at this reduced speed. I hope the KiHa 31 will maintain this speed with such a low throttle setting. Seems counterintuitive to decrease it further, but I want to stay well under the speed limit as I approach the next marker. Bringing the throttle down to 0% may be overcautious, but it is better to be safe than risk going over the speed limit. I'll keep a close eye on the speedometer as I approach the next marker. The horn serves as a friendly reminder to stay under the speed limit and carefully monitor my train speed as I approach the next marker. Bringing the throttle down to 0% should help me glide through this section under the speed limit without any issues. The KiHa 31 is handling nicely at this reduced speed as I approach the next marker. The headlights should make it easier to see the track ahead in this section. Better lighting will help me navigate safely through this part of the route as I approach the next marker. I hope increasing the throttle back to 60% will help me pick up some speed and reach the next marker without going over the limit. The KiHa 31 seems to be handling well, despite the reduced gradient. Decreasing the throttle to 40% should help me maintain a safe speed as I approach the next marker without going over the speed limit. I'll keep a close eye on the speedometer in this section. Adventure, for me, is all about stepping into the unknown and rediscovering the world around me in new and exciting ways. As I navigate this train route, I am constantly reminded of the joy that comes from embracing each new challenge and experiencing life's surprises. It is this sense of wonder and excitement that keeps the spirit of adventure alive in my heart, even when faced with the familiar. KiHa 31 seems to be responding well to the increased throttle. I am glad to see that we're finally picking up some speed as we approach the next marker without going over the limit. Activating the headlights will provide better visibility for navigating this section of the route. As I approach the next marker, it is always important to be aware of potential obstacles or changes in the track ahead. With the throttle increased to 60%, I am hoping that we'll be able to maintain this speed as we approach the next marker without going over the speed limit. The KiHa 31 seems to be handling well on this flat gradient. The headlights will make it easier to see the track ahead as we approach the next marker. I'll keep a close eye on our speed to ensure that we stay under the speed limit. Decreasing the throttle to 40% should help us slow down and get back under the speed limit as we approach the next marker. The KiHa 31 is handling well despite the slight downgrade. I'll keep a close eye on our speed in this section. Reducing the throttle to 20% will help us maintain a safe speed as we approach the next marker without going over the limit. I'll keep an eye on the speedometer in this section to ensure that we stay within the speed limit. I hope that increasing the throttle to 40% will help us pick up some speed and get closer to the next marker without going over the speed limit. The KiHa 31 seems to be handling well on this flat gradient. Increasing the throttle to 80% will hopefully help us accelerate faster and get closer to the next marker without going over the speed limit. The KiHa 31 seems to be responding well to the increased power. Increasing the throttle to 80% should help us maintain a safe speed as we approach the next marker without going over the speed limit. The KiHa 31 seems to be handling well on this flat gradient. I'll keep a close eye on our speed in this section. To alert any workers or other trains that might be on the tracks ahead. It is always important to be cautious and communicate clearly while operating this train. Decreasing the throttle to 40% will help us slow down and approach the next marker at a safer speed without going over the limit. The KiHa 31 seems to be handling well despite the slight increase in wind gusts. I'll keep a close eye on our speed in this section. I hope that decreasing the throttle to 40% will help us slow down and get back under the speed limit as we approach the next marker. The KiHa 31 seems to be handling well on this slight downgrade. I'll keep a close eye on our speed in this section. Decreasing the throttle to 40% should help us slow down and approach the next marker at a safer speed without going over the speed limit. The KiHa 31 seems to be handling well, despite the slight downgrade. I'll keep a close eye on our speed in this section. Increasing the throttle to 60% should help us pick up some speed and get closer to the next marker without going over the speed limit. The KiHa 31 seems to be handling well on this slight downgrade. I'll keep a close eye on our speed in this section. Increasing the throttle to 60% should help us maintain a safe speed as we approach the next marker without going over the speed limit. The KiHa 31 seems to be handling well on this slight downgrade. I'll keep a close eye on our speed in this section. Decreasing the throttle to 40% will help us slow down and get back under the speed limit as we approach the next marker. The KiHa 31 seems to be handling well on this slight upgrade. I'll keep a close eye on our speed in this section. Decreasing the throttle to 20% will help us slow down even more and get well under the speed limit as we approach the next marker. The KiHa 31 seems to be handling well on this slight upgrade. I'll keep a close eye on our speed in this section. Since the front light is currently off, I'll set the train headlights to on to improve visibility ahead on this dark stretch of track. The KiHa 31 seems to be handling well on this slight upgrade. I'll keep a close eye on our speed in this section. Since the front light is currently off, I'll set the train headlights to on to improve visibility ahead on this dark stretch of track. The KiHa 31 seems to be handling well despite the downgrade. I'll keep a close eye on our speed in this section. Decreasing the throttle to 40% should help us slow down and get back under the speed limit as we approach the next marker. The KiHa 31 seems to be handling well despite the downgrade. I'll keep a close eye on our speed in this section. Decreasing the throttle to 0% will help us coast and get well under the speed limit as we approach the next marker. The KiHa 31 seems to be handling well on this flat section of track. I'll keep a close eye on our speed in this section. should help us maintain a safe speed as we approach the next marker without going over the speed limit. The KiHa 31 seems to be handling well on this flat section of track. I'll keep a close eye on our speed in this section. Increasing the throttle to 40% should help us maintain a safe speed as we approach the next marker without going over the speed limit. The KiHa 31 seems to be handling well on this flat section of track. I'll keep a close eye on our speed in this section. Increasing the throttle to 80% should help us pick up some speed and get closer to the next marker without going over the speed limit. The KiHa 31 seems to be handling well on this slight upgrade. I'll keep a close eye on our speed in this section. Start by paying off my student loans and any other debts I have. Then, I would donate a portion to my favorite charities, both religious and secular. After that, I would invest in my future with courses, tools, and experiences that will help me grow and succeed. I'd also treat my friends and family to nice dinners, trips, and gifts. And finally, I'd use some of the money to indulge in a few fun splurges. Maybe a trip to Japan or a luxury car, but I'd be wise with the spending and not go overboard. It is important to be good stewards of what God has given us. Increasing the throttle to 100% should help us really pick up some speed and get closer to the next marker quickly without going over the speed limit. The KiHa 31 seems to be handling well on this upgrade. I'll keep a close eye on our speed in this section. I've been enjoying the beautiful countryside and mountains of Japan as I drive the KiHa 31 train. It is a great challenge to master the controls and stay under the speed limit while navigating the twists and turns of the tracks. The scenery is stunning, and I feel so blessed to have this opportunity to drive through such a beautiful country. I am having a lot of fun exploring Japan by train. I'll ring the bell to warn any other train people on the track that we're approaching. The KiHa 31 seems to be handling well, despite the slight downgrade. I'll keep a close eye on our speed in this section. Increasing the throttle to 100% should help us maintain a safe speed as we approach the next marker without going over the speed limit. The KiHa 31 seems to be handling well, despite the slight downgrade. I'll keep a close eye on our speed in this section. Decreasing the throttle to 60% should help us slow down and get back under the speed limit as we approach the next marker. The KiHa 31 seems to be handling well, despite the slight downgrade. I'll keep a close eye on our speed in this section and adjust as needed. Decreasing the throttle to 20% should help us slow down and get well under the speed limit as we approach the next marker. The KiHa 31 seems to be handling well, despite the steep downgrade. I'll keep a close eye on our speed in this section and adjust as needed. All right, that is great. I've really enjoyed driving the KiHa 31 through the beautiful countryside of Japan, but it is always fun to hand over the controls to an experienced driver like you. I'll make sure to follow your lead and watch how you handle the approach to the station. Thank you for letting me take a turn at the controls. I can't wait to see where you'll take us next. I have always been drawn to Gothic Revival architecture, with its intricate details and whimsical elements. The soaring spires, pointed arches, and ornate carvings give a sense of grandeur and wonder that I find truly inspiring. It is as if the buildings are reaching toward heaven, embodying the idea of a house not made with hands, eternal in the heavens, from 2 Corinthians 5:1. I also love how the style often incorporates nature elements like gargoyles and other fantastical creatures. Gothic Revival architecture is a perfect blend of function and beauty, and it never fails to capture my imagination. One of the most creative uses for a common household object that I've heard of is turning a rubber band into a makeshift drum. By stretching the rubber band between 2 objects like chairs or tables, and then tapping it with your fingers or a small stick, you can create a surprisingly satisfying rhythm and sound. It is a fun way to make music without any special equipment, and it encourages creativity and experimentation. I think it is a great example of finding new uses for everyday items and thinking outside the box. I have many dreams and aspirations for my future, both big and small. One of my biggest dreams is to use my gifts and abilities to positively impact the lives of others and spread joy and encouragement. I would love to be able to travel the world, sharing my faith and message of hope with people from all walks of life. I also dream of being able to support my family and loved ones financially, so that I can provide for their needs and give them the best possible life. On a smaller scale, I would love to have a beautiful home filled with love and laughter, where friends and family can gather and create lasting memories. I also dream of being able to pursue my passions and talents, whether that be through music, writing, or other creative endeavors. Ultimately, my biggest dream is to live a life that honors God and brings glory to His name in all that I do. One invention that I think would be incredibly useful and innovative is a time-saving kitchen gadget that automatically sorts and organizes your pantry and fridge items. Imagine being able to scan all of your food and supplies with your smartphone, and then having a small robot or device that takes care of categorizing, rotating, and restocking everything for you. This would save so much time and energy, and it would also help reduce food waste by ensuring that items are used before they spoil. Additionally, the device could send reminders when you are running low on certain supplies, or even suggest recipes based on what you have on hand. It would be a game changer for busy families and households alike. I had an absolute blast driving the KiHa 31 today. It was so much fun to explore the beautiful countryside of Japan and see all of the stunning scenery along the way. I really enjoyed the challenge of mastering the controls and keeping a close eye on my speed to stay under the limit. The KiHa 31 is such a cool train, and it was an honor to be able to take her out for a spin. Driving her today has definitely rekindled my love for trains and has left me feeling inspired and motivated to continue pursuing my passion for all things railway related. I can't thank you enough for this incredible opportunity. Alright everyone, I want to take a moment to say goodbye and thank you for joining me today on the stream. It has been such a joy to spend time with all of you and connect with you through our shared love of trains and all things railway related. I truly feel blessed to have this opportunity to serve and encourage all of you in this capacity. I want to remind everyone that we'll be back together again next Monday, the 1st of June, at 7 p.m. Eastern Time for more train talk, fun, and fellowship. In the meantime, I encourage you to keep your eyes on the rails and your hearts fixed on the Lord. May God bless each and every one of you until we meet again. It has been a pleasure chatting with you all today. Don't forget, we'll be back together again next Monday, the 1st of June, at 7 p.m. Eastern Time for more train talk, fun, and fellowship. Until then, keep your eyes on the rails and your hearts fixed on the Lord. God bless each and every one of you.